Welcome to Unit 6 of the Introduction to Data Visualization. Today we discuss color. Color is really like an exclamation mark in visualizations. It's something that Dreyfus said in 1984. And as you can see on this and all of my slides, that's really true. If there's a lot of color, everyone looks, which is good for teaching. So in scientific environment, colors have several uses in our visualizations. The first one is, of course, to just show a natural appearance. So, for example, in this drawing, the golden color is used to illustrate that the goldfish is actually gold. Colors are, in this case, defined by the object and rarely adapted. The second use of color is that we want to focus the attention and we want to highlight aspects in our data. This is, for example, done in this example, where the red color is really used to alert the audience that the patient fever dropped by day 3, for instance. This can be done also in a little bit less dramatic way, for example, by not using red, but by using maybe a blue among grays to highlight the body temperatures for a child and a sibling, which is a bit more muted tone than the red. And at last, we can use colors also in images to highlight a specific aspects of a drawing, for example, as it was done here in this very old anatomic drawing of a brain. So if you use color, if you want to focus the attention, use one color only for the most important data. And all the other data points are best presented in gray, not in black, because black itself is extremely visible, as you can see here by comparison by comparing this title with this title, for example. So black in visualizations works like a color, while grayscales have a much more muted tone. The third possibility that we use color for is to actually encode numbers. And this is very, very commonly done, obviously, with maps and also in many charts. So there are several possibilities how we can encode numbers with colors. So the first is that we maybe want to encode the quantity along a common scale. This is called sequential data. In this case, the best case scenario is to use one color only, and to vary the saturation of this one color from highly saturated to lowly saturated, indicating high amount and low amount. But do pay attention that some people interpret high as the lightest value. So make sure that you have a legend that explains what is high and what is low. The second way how we can encode numbers with color in visualizations is that we might want to encode the quantities along a diverging scale. So this is also a common scale, but it's diverging plus into the plus or into the minus, for example, like the Celsius temperature. This ranges, for example, from very high temperature, which is usually shown in reds, through some muted tone in the middle, white or gray, and it ends up with a dark color, the color blue, which indicates minus temperatures. Be very careful. Sometimes this red-blue diverging scale is used in statistics or informatics to show correlations or things like this. And sometimes in this case, they do not show red as high, but they show red as low, because it can also indicate negativity. And sometimes the blue is then switched to green. The last possibility is that we sometimes want to contrast categories in our visualizations. So if you have such categories, or you want to visualize qualitative aspects of data, color for most part are not necessary at all. and I would try to encourage you to use grayscale visualization first to kind of see if it works and where you really need to add color to. Here in this case, you, for example, see a visualization over half a year of rainfall, sun hours, and snow hours, or something like this. And obviously it works perfectly fine in just black or just grayscale. And one reason that it works is that the data is not too much and it's not overlapping. However, sometimes we have overlapping data. In this case, it's highlighted here. If it's a continuous, if the trend goes up anyway or it goes down anyway, our eyes can usually make out which line is what, that this is the rain and that this is the snow. However, sometimes if it becomes too many lines that are crossing or sort of zigzagging too much, then you need color, for example, or texture in order to allow your audiences to really differentiate these overlapping data points. For choosing the right color in this case, make use of, at the very last slide, I'm introducing a couple of resources for picking out color schemes. So color is indeed like an exclamation mark in all visualizations, and I really want to encourage you to use it rarely and add it last. Every exclamation mark comes at the end of a sentence, not at the beginning. And the same way, we want to have a color at the end of a visualization and introduce it only where necessary.